Hey, it's Coach Jamila, and I just wanted to share with you today why or how I was able to start believing in myself again. So, I actually grew up with parents who were in education. My dad was a college professor, my mother was a music teacher. All my life, they retired when I was in college. And they always taught me that I could do anything that I set my mind to. And I believed that. And really, truly, that was the case. Whatever I put my mind to in school, I accomplished. Whatever I put my mind to at work, I accomplished. I was an achiever. That's what I did, right? So, fast forward, I'm married and, I had stopped working, a traditional 9 to 5. And I decided that I wanted to start my own little business. And unfortunately, it was a luxury item, and it was around the time of the economy crash that I started in 2006. And I really didn't know, what was going on with the economy. But to make a long story short, no matter what I did, I made money, but I never became profitable. And profit means that the money you're getting in revenue exceeds your expenses. And that just wasn't happening. I was operating in the negative. And so eventually I just had to close my doors. And I wasn't a physical business. I was an online business, but I had to stop what I was doing. Months later, I found a company, a health and fitness company that aligned with where I was in my life at that point. At that point, I was really wanting to get in shape. My ex-husband, he needed to lose some weight. And so it was just a way for me to make money and to really help both of us and other people, to get healthy. And it was something I was very passionate about and something I still am. And that still is a component of my coaching business today, to this very day. So I've been doing that for now over 8 years. But that business, having to shut that business down, that was the first time in my life. I want to say, how old was I? I had to be maybe 30-ish or 20, somewhere around in there. That was the first time in my life that I had ever experienced failure. I had never put my mind to anything and not seen it have success. What my parents had told me was true. I put my mind to something, I was able to make it happen. And it didn't. It did not happen. And that was a huge blow. So then, fast forward 2 years from then, and my first marriage falls apart. And that was another blow, gut punch, because I had poured my heart and soul into that, and it failed. And it was like, ugh. And then, believe it or not, when my first son died, and I do have a video about that on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be posting another video about that down the line, getting into is more of a warning for parents. But when I get the emotional readiness for that, I'll do that. But and then and now of course I'll explain where I am now, but I'm talking about then. And then my first son died, and I put a lot of effort and energy into just preparing and enjoying the whole experience of being pregnant with him and imagining him and just, bonding and connecting with him in utero, and then when he was born, and then to lose him, even though it wasn't my fault, felt like another blow, another failure. How could I love someone so much and they be ripped, from me? It didn't make sense. And so my belief in myself, my belief in my ability to put my mind to something, to accomplish something, was, it didn't exist. It was gone. And so when, like I said, after my second son was about 5 months old, and I decided to re-engage in my business, I said, I honestly did not even want to do it. I was like, I don't even feel like doing it. I don't want to have to talk to anybody. I don't want to have to, be trying to sell nothing. I don't even feel like, working out right now. I mean, I need to, but I'm just like, man, and that's just where I was at. Very just negative mindset and just not feeling me, you know? And anyone that knows me personally is probably like, what? I would never exactly, because that's not really who I am, but this is after you have so many blows and experiences, you start to question like, well, maybe I'm not as great as I thought I was. Maybe my mind is not as powerful as I thought it was. Maybe I just can't. I give up, I don't feel like failing or getting hurt, so I'm just not going to do anything. But not doing anything wasn't an option, right? Because, hey, I got to make some money. We got to pay bills. So, but that's where I was. That's where I was starting from. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did was my company that I have my health and fitness business through. Of course, I have a back office. And so I just approached it from the standpoint as if I was a brand new coach, fitness coach. And I went in and I just went through all the training as if I was a brand new person. Because, when you unplug and you're not involved for a few years, things change. And a lot of things had changed. Even the way that the business is marketed and the way people are growing their teams is different. And so I had to, get up to speed and up to date on all that. And as I was doing that, I also, started searching on YouTube and stuff like that for, things on entrepreneurship, things on sales, things on believing in yourself. And through that, I discovered a lot of different videos, like TEDx and, TED Talks or whatever. And I finally stumbled upon the topic or the issue of limiting inner beliefs. This is something that I had absolutely no clue about. I had never heard of it before. But once I became aware of it, I recognized that I had some major things going on inside of me, some major conversations going on with me on a subconscious level on the inside of my head that were limiting me, keeping me from being successful. Really, me being in my own way. I was in my own way. And so I had to get out of my own way. And so how did I do that? Well, everything that came up, I would explore. So I didn't believe in myself. Okay. So I started exploring that and looking at everything I could find, get my hands on about how to get belief back in yourself. And I started, writing affirmations. And my affirmations have evolved so much over time. They change every time I realize, okay, I can switch it and do this with that, and make it better and better and better. And they have grown and changed just like me. And so I did that, started those daily affirmations to try to retrain my thinking, to get on board. I read some books. I watched more videos, and ultimately through this process, it led me down the road to the bottom line, the bottom crux of the matter, at least for me, was that I had a limiting inner belief as far as where I was able to go financially versus like my parents. And so I, had a friend who's actually a therapist, a holistic therapist, and I was able to clear out that particular limiting belief or block and move forward. And so now that's where I am, is it's like I don't have that little tinge or anxiety in the center of my chest when it comes to, making money. Because the bottom line is at a certain point, here it is, I'm doing all these things, doing all this research, I figured it out, and then I'm putting all this effort and energy and momentum, and still nothing is happening. It seems like whatever I'm doing is just nothing, can't close anything, can't get anything going. A little, like, it would be a little bit here, but it wasn't like the momentum that I wanted or needed. And so, of course, I just tend to look back at myself. I don't blame any outside sources because I can't control that, but I can control me. And I know that whatever I need to do to make it happen, I'm going to do it. And so Anyway, like I said, once I worked my way down to that final little poof and got, rid of that, did the work to get rid of that, it was like the veil had been lifted, or the light finally shined, and I'm like, oh, and I just felt this freeness. And of course I filled the space with continuing to say, those positive affirmations every day and telling myself new positive things to think. But that is my story of how I got my belief in myself back. So if you yourself have been through some things that have got you in a place of where you pretty much almost given up on yourself, you really don't have too much stock or enthusiasm in your ability to do anything and be successful at it. Not that you maybe view yourself as a failure, or maybe you do say that to yourself deep down inside, like, I'm just a failure. It's just never going to work. Nothing works out for me, whatever. That kind of self-talk, that kind of stuff right there, those are those limiting inner beliefs that you have to identify, become aware of, and then root out, or you will never be able to move forward, especially if you are trying to be an entrepreneur. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur and have your own business, your own home-based business, and you have inner limiting beliefs, particularly when it comes to like money or sales, then it's a wrap, man. Because even if you do by some miracle get success, you're going to eventually end up sabotaging yourself back down to where and what it is that you feel that you deserve, just because that little voice inside of you is telling you that that's where you're supposed to be. So that's my story. And I really wish that I was able to impart some nugget of truth to you. And of course, I hate rambling and I hate long videos. It's like, this 12 minutes is too much, because I like to really, be less than 10 minutes. But it's okay, because, I just wanted to share that with you to let you know, if you are someone that is struggling, you're not the only one. We done been there, done that. But here's the thing. There's light at the end of the tunnel, okay? There is hope, okay? You can find your way out of this. And if you feel like, man, well, Jamila, I don't know what all the resources you have discovered or what you did, or I don't have time to go through all that, I get it. Because you know how one thing leads to another. You're just like boom, bang, pow. And if someone asks you, well, what'd you do? I don't know. I just did it. So that's why being a coach, like I said, I've been a fitness coach for all these years, but really being a life coach, advising other people, helping them to get clarity and get organized and create momentum and reach goals. That's actually something I've been doing all my life for free, with my friends and family. And it's something I love to do. And I love sharing with people. Once I figured something out, I love to say, okay, here's how it is, so that you don't have to go through all the rigmarole that I just did. You can just, boom, get there right away. And so if you, like I said, are struggling, with those feelings of not believing in yourself, and those feelings of feeling like you're inadequate or a failure before you've even gotten started out the gate, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and let's chat. And if we jive, if we vibe, if we're on the same wavelength, then we certainly can talk about working together and helping you get the clarity and momentum you need to move forward and reach whatever your goals are. Maybe your goal is just to be more organized as a mom. That's cool. Or maybe your goal is to have a home-based business. What's the best way to go about that? What are some pitfalls to avoid? Or maybe you're just like, okay, I get it. I have all this garbage inside. How do I get rid of it? Any of that, feel free to reach out and let's talk and see if I can be of any help or service to you. I'd also like to tell you about this great free offer that I have. I'm actually breaking this down throughout my Strategy Sunday videos, but it's called the How to Get What You Want 6-step process. It's my 6-step process for how I get what I want. And it's something good to have, especially if you feel like a failure and you're trying to turn things around. But you can get it by just going to my website, coachjamila.com, filling in the little subscribe box, or the contact me box, either one you want to fill out, and I'll send you this document in a PDF form so you can have it. And then you can follow along to my videos and stay tuned and get the the full scope of the process. And then, of course, if you want to work together on the process, with your own personal situation and circumstances, we can talk about that too. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I hope me sharing this story, that you got something from it that, will help you to realize that you're not alone. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you can do this. You are not a failure. You are so successful and so great. You just can't see it because you're in your own way. But once you step to the side and then there's nothing blocking you in the mirror, you're going to be like, look at me. So there you have it. So anywho, I look forward to either hearing from you or seeing you on my next video. Take care.